Hello, I'm FPL MV and welcome back to another FPL preseason video. After rating all of the other positions, it's now time to rate the goalkeepers. A lot of teams do not have their goalkeepers setting up, and I believe it's not going to be as educational as it's supposed to be because having all of the 20 teams with an out goalkeeper would have been better, but now we will work with whatever we have viable. If you enjoyed such type of content and want to see more, please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers before the start of the season. Please help me reach that goal and I will help you with your FPL game and team for sure. If you have any other considerations about a goalkeeper, please write it down in the comment section. But now let's jump into that tier list. As you can see, the players pool here is not as big as the other tier list, but we have to work with whatever information we have right now, and this is the most interesting goalkeepers pool that I could have gotten. We start with the two big boys, Alisson and Ederson. For me, Alisson is a very situational pick. He is the cheapest, more sure way to get into a Liverpool defense, but he takes a spot. And if you don't want to go a premium goalkeeper and waste 5.5 on a goalkeeper, it's going to be very hard to see a place for Alisson. So for me, he is in unavoid section. He is there just because he is not good enough, but he is taking a Liverpool spot. He is costing 5.5, and with so many expensive players going into your game week 1 drafts, having Alisson seems like a waste. You can go to Trent or Van Dijk for a little bit more money. He is now a little bit more expensive than Alisson. Trent is way more expensive, but Van Dijk can score goals and can get even more bonus points for passes and everything. Alisson's ceiling is like 6 points per game maximum, but if he concedes a goal, it's based on 1 or 2 shots per game, so he is not going to rack up a lot of points. For the same price you can get Van Dijk basically, and he's going to be nailed, he's going to play. And for me, Alisson can make a couple of saves that are going to be important. He may even provide an assist here and there, but he is an avoid for the start of the season, not unless we find out that the other defensive options are not good and Alisson may become integral for your side. But for now, I'm staying away from Alisson. Ederson, he is as well as expensive as Alisson, but he is way worse because City concede less chances, and basically it's one shot per goal. There, if they concede one shot, he may save it or he may concede a goal. So it's one shot per game for most of the easier games. And if the opposition scores just a random goal, he's losing the clean sheet, he's not getting bonus, he's not getting assist, he's taking a precious Manchester City spot. John Stones is basically the same price as him. Ruben Dias is the same price, and I believe they can do a lot more damage there. So for me, Ederson is in the don't you dare section. He is nowhere near going into my side. Next up is Łukasz Fabianski. He is being downgraded a lot, but he's still a good goalkeeper. He can miss some games here and there because their second goalkeeper may need some minutes, but for me he is a very strong player. And if you want to have a nailed West Ham defender apart from Maguette, maybe Fabianski is the right guy for you. He is getting a lot of saves, he can save penalties, he's good with that. And for me, their fixtures are not as good as some other teams, so he is a situational pick, but he is a very good goalkeeper, and for that price he may become a very good pick later on in the season, but for now he is a situational pick. Flecken, he is a goalkeeper that has joined Brentford, and I believe for now he is going to be their second choice of goalkeeper, but if Raya leaves, he becomes a very good pick instantly. He's a good shot stopper. I don't know if he is as good as Raya, but Brentford need a good shot stopper and they're looking for such kind of players. He comes from the Bundesliga, so the physical things from the Prem and Bundesliga are basically the same. The players there are strong. It's not like in Spain where the game is more technical, not physical, but in Bundesliga and Prem it's more physical. So he is at the top of my situational picks because if Raya leaves, he becomes a very good pick. But if Raya stays, he is there for now. The Sheffield United goalkeeper, I don't like Sheffield United fixtures. I don't like their defenders. I don't like at all their players. I have to see some fixtures, some heat maps, where and how they set up. So for me, he is in a void section. He's below Alisson even. I don't like their fixtures, their players, or anything right now. I may be wrong, but for the start of the season, I seem to find a lot more better goalkeepers than them. Next up is Johnston, and Johnston is a very, very solid player. I believe that he can bring a lot of versatility. He can play with his feet. He got some good defensive returns last season, and he becomes a very good pick right now. He's strong, he's stable, he can save a penalty, he can do anything. So, very good pick. He is not as good as some other picks here because his fixtures are not amazing, but his goalkeeper's qualities are not to be mentioned and not to be put under any consideration. So he is a very, very good pick. Next up, we have Kepa. Kepa case is a little bit interesting. Mendy is gone from Chelsea, and they do not seem to be linked with any goalkeeper. So if he is a starter in their side, he can become starter in mine as well because I like him as a goalkeeper. He's at good price. Chelsea will have an amazing fixtures from the start, and having a nailed defender may seem to be the case with Chelsea. And if what else more nailed than the goalkeeper? I believe that there is a possibility they sign someone else, but for now that's not the case, and he is a very good pick in my books. He makes a lot of saves. Chelsea are conceding some chances, but you can save a little bit money from James and Chu and go to Kepa, and he will not disappoint in my opinion if he's their starter. Next up we have, in my opinion, the one of the best 4.5 goalkeepers. It's Leno. He kept a lot of clean sheets last season. He made a lot of saves. He's one of the reasons why Fulham are so high in the Prem last season. And I believe he is a very good goalkeeper. He knows how to play the game, and he knows how to be strong player. So for me, he is a very good pick as well. Another very good picks. Those three goalkeepers are into my considerations for game week 1 for sure. Next up, we have Hugo Lloris, and with another goalkeeper joining Spurs, I believe he's in a don't you dare section. He's losing his place at Spurs for sure, and I believe that we won't see him a lot this season. Foster can get some minutes ahead of him, in my opinion, a don't you dare section. Next up, we have Emiliano Martinez, and for me, he is a very, very good pick. He can save penalties, he can improve massively, he can save a lot of shots. He is a very good and exciting goalkeeper. He knows how to trigger opposite strikers to miss some chances, to play badly, and to do such kind of stuff. He is a very, very good choice to begin with. Consider him, and you will reap some good points from him when he becomes better fixture wise, because then there's some rotations may appear to be happening under the European football that they're going to play, but the goalkeeper's position won't change. So Martinez can become a very good shout out when their fixtures turn for the better. Neto, a situational pick if you want to enjoy Bournemouth goalkeeper and keep racking some points from them. He's a good choice, but their defense is not very good. For me, it's a no-go to go there for sure. Next up is Pickford. Pickford is in one of the top 2 goalkeepers that I'm considering about my game week 1 draft. The other goalkeeper has not come yet, but Pickford, a very solid player, a very good fixtures. I cannot seem to emphasize a lot how important the fixtures are from the start, because that's the most reliable data that we have, fixtures, and a team that can rack up some wins quick enough, it's always good, and their mentality can increase and they can become even better. So Pickford takes up a very high place in my shortlist for sure. Next up, we have Nick Pope. He's an avoid for me. You can get 5.5 keeper going for Alisson, not for Pope. For me, Pope is 5.0 maximum, not 5.5, and for that reason, I'm staying away from him. He's not as bad as Ederson and Uris, but he's not good enough to be in the top 3 bracket spots. I don't believe there is a must pick in the goalkeepers department. There hasn't been. If there is a 4.0 keeper, he becomes it, but for now there isn't such an emerging player that is going to play the 4.0 position for sure. Next up is Ramsdale. He's right now in my current draft. He is that good. He did well for Arsenal. He's nailed. He's not taking up a defensive position because they seem to be pretty important this season. And going for Ramsdale seems to be a good option. And you cannot go a lot wrong with picking him. Next up is David Raya. He is a situational pick, a top of situational. It's the same choice between him and Flecken. If he is staying, he can be a good option. If he is leaving, if he goes to a top 6 side Prem team, maybe Chelsea may consider him because, or Manchester United if they fail to sign someone else to be their number 1. But Arsenal, Liverpool, City, and Spurs already have some new keepers. Newcastle have a keeper. Brighton bought a keeper. Aston Villa have a keeper. So Chelsea or Manchester United can attack David Raya to join them. But for now, he is staying in a situational picks. Jose Sa, with such a high rebuild of Wolves, sorry, he is an avoid for me. I seem to like him as a keeper, sorry, a lot, but not right now as a choice because he is not going to rack up those points compared to Ramsdale and Martinez because Wolves are rebuilding their side. They're not as good as before, and in my opinion, he's in the void section. Next up, we have Steele from Brighton. His definition of wait and see who is the starting goalkeeper. They signed a new goalkeeper that can attack his position, and for me, he may be under threat, not from Rob Sanchez, who I believe is going to leave, but by the Van Guert guy. I cannot seem to pronounce his name right, but for me, he is a situational pick, and the same for Vicario. We have to see who is going to be the player that is going to start for Spurs, but in my opinion, those players are good enough to be considered to be situational picks, but the top 3 guys here, in my opinion, are Martinez, Pickford, and Ramsdale, at least for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you think I don't consider someone and rate him as high as I'm supposed to be, writing it down in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. But for now, guys, I'll be heading out. Bye!